Hello. Um, Today's a sad day. Uh, just found out some awful news about the homie and his parent, and I want to say rest in peace. I love you, brother. Life just be happening, and it's not fair. I'm gonna try to keep the energy up. Like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe. I wanted to do this just to get my mind off of things, and this would be a good way. Cause that is, Lord. That is yeah. Sorry if anyone catches this later on. Just know this was. I feel for him. I feel for my friend. I feel for my partner. It's uh, it's a real hard day for people, man. Love on your people. Make sure they know you love them. Whoever it is, friend, goat, cat, whatever. Make that thing know, that person know that you love them. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. I thought I was gonna start off with Kamala Harris, but actually, let's start off with these stupid motherfuckers. Actually, my screen ain't even. There we go. Screen wasn't working real quick. Let's uh, let's get to it. I'll just show that. All right, let's put names to these faces. So let's start off. Shout out to Dan Sullivan from the Times staff. Published yesterday. Published yesterday. Shout out to the community too. Hours after three masked gunmen sprayed two cars. Damn, I didn't even know they did that. Oh, damn, that's crazy. People don't even know the value of life. People don't know the value of life. To shoot at us, that's crazy. 10 hours after three masked gunmen sprayed two cars. Sprayed. Even the news said this. Sprayed two cars with bullets outside a North Tampa hotel in June, killing the popular rapper known as Julio Foolios. A man boasted in a text message to a friend, "I'm coming home, my thirst is quenched," wrote Rashad Murphy. "Pop a bottle of Don Julio today, Murphy." The text is among the details police uncovered. Shout out to the Tampa police. I'm sorry. This is I'm gonna be real here. You can't expect you can't do this type of stuff and not expect this type of justice with no type of nothing to happen. I don't believe in karma. This is direct lateral justice for these people. You shouldn't do that to nobody, to no human, unless you're at war. You're not at real war. You're in America. You're at one of the safest countries on the planet. Let's just be 100% honest. You are causing your own demise. And I'm not saying black people, I'm saying these people right here. These specific people, because people kill each other, no doubt. But to do this type of stunt, like you're some trained hitman, you didn't go through no type of killer training from a armed dealer or society or fucking military. Like you just did this for for what? To see us dissing each other? And I'm not even to say, oh, black people. No, no, no. I'm saying, why did y'all do this? Y'all could have killed other people. Cause y'all shooting. Y'all not even trained killers. Y'all just killers. Now, if you was trained to do this, that's one thing. It's like, hey, you had a job. This was not a job. This was ignorance. This was stupidity. This was senseless violence for no reason. Yes, put them in jail. Put the bitch in jail for sure. She actually deserves to go to jail even more than the killers. Because, bitch, why are you the setup? How are you setting people up? Let's read. The text is among the details police uncovered in their investigation of the rapper's murder. Court documents filed this week in the case against 3 of the 5 people charged in Julio Foolios' death. Detail a complex investigation that spanned the state and relied on a patchwork of surveillance videos, digital evidence, and ballistic analysis. The phrase "sipping on Don Julio," according to Jacksonville detectives, is known among the city's gang members to be one of the disrespect toward Julio, whose real name was Charles Jones. I don't know how that. My bad. The 26-year-old rapper, known for songs that touched on the themes of violence and inner city strife, was a member of a gang known as Six Block in his native Jacksonville. Facing charges of murders are cousins Rashad and Davion Murphy, along with Sean Gathright, Isaiah Chance, and Alicia Andrews. Chance and Andrews, both 21. 21. You did this for what? You really didn't think you was going to get caught. Or if you didn't care, I mean, hey, if you don't care, do it up. Because your ass don't be in jail, then you don't be somebody's prison wife. This guy is going to crack 2 weeks in. Somebody don't beat them up. Beat that cake up. Facing charges of murder. So this is Isaiah Chance, Alicia Andrews, Sean Gathright. Wanted, Rashad Murphy and Davion Murphy. Spewed has spanned over a decade with dozens of murders by and against both sides. Prosecutors run court paper on a flashpoint. I don't think I can watch that part, so no. Tampa Bay Times. I didn't know there was it's like New York Times. Is that like do they have? Comment down below if they like New York Times has different branches. I mean, that makes sense actually. I just looked that up honestly. I was being lazy.
It's a dramatic arrest that was caught on camera. Deputies.
That was owned by Disney. Can't play that.
Right now, police looking for the people who killed rapper Julio Foolios.
Dang, why is all this place showing on Disney stuff? And if you didn't know, Disney owns half the market of news. So your news is actually coming from Disney. Whatever. Let's see if YouTube has another video I could play.
Right now at 5, 3 people have been arrested in the murder of a local rapper, and police are still searching for 2 more suspects. Charles Jones, also known as Julio Foolio, was murdered in Tampa last month while celebrating his birthday.
News for Jax reporter Janice Harris is joining us live in the studio with these new details. So, Janice, how did these shooters know where Jones was located?
Well, according to Tampa Bay Police and the chief of police there, they followed his steps and probably followed him on social media as well as he was celebrating his birthday in that city. Tampa Police said 5 people in total plotted and planned to kill Charles Jones following every step he made while celebrating his birthday and posting on social media. Tonight, 3 of those people are in the Duval County Jail, and police are still searching for 2 more. As Charles Jones, known as Julio Foolio in the music industry, was celebrating his birthday, he was being followed by 5 people. Tampa Police Chief Lee Burklaw explained.
A little more than a month ago.
If someone was to kill me like this, I really want the police to get you. I don't want no revenge by somebody I love to kill you. I want you to suffer in jail because you deserve it. Worst. And people, I wouldn't worst jail. I'm my worst enemy. If this is your worst enemy, I want jail because somebody needs to. I say this carefully. Somebody need to beat your yeets until you 75 years old. I want you to live till you 75. You be multiple prison wives. You get married 17 times because you was a dirty bastard. That's for sure. That's some sick shit to do. To set up, like, who are y'all? Like, they really think they're in a fucking cartel movie shit. Like, this ain't a movie. You killed this boy. He's 26. I'm 30. Like, that's just crazy. Hell no.
Ago, a group of individuals with the goal of premeditated murder traveled from Jacksonville to Tampa to commit a heinous crime in our city.
This is surveillance video of multiple gunmen ambushing and shooting Jones.
They are shooting at Charles now, and you can see that he's the passenger in that car that's moving and trying to flee. And again, they're still shooting at him. He's the right front passenger in that vehicle.
Using 3 weapons, Jones died shortly after the shooting. Tampa homicide detectives and JSO worked together to find the shooters. Investigators say the 5 took extreme measures to cover up their crimes, but failed. 21-year-old Elisa Andrews, 21-year-old Isaiah Chance, 18-year-old Sean Gaithright, 30-year-old Rashad Murphy, and 27-year-old Davy.
I was counting right on. I said Gaithright or Gathright. I was right.
Davion Murphy
Shout out to my reading skills. God damn it.
are all
Keep these niggas in jail. They don't deserve to be free. They don't deserve to be in society with me at all. The chick especially. She's foul as hell. Says she knows she wrong. These motherfuckers might be stupid, but I'll say the girl is smarter than all of them. She knows better. And if she don't, bless her heart, because she's gonna rot in prison too. I hope they rot in prison. Shout out to the goddamn police, because nobody, and I mean nobody, should be doing that. White, black, Hispanic, Venezuelan, none of that shit.
accused of playing a role in Jones's death, and they're all facing 1 count of murder in the first degree and 1 count of conspiracy.
Surveillance video was critical in this investigation, as suspects were seen on video following Jones from location to location. This shows the lengths that these individuals were willing to go through and achieve that this murder would occur.
4:15 a.m., Jones is headed to a hotel on McKinley Road in Tampa. One suspect's vehicle follows Jones to the hotel, but stayed parked across the street.
At 4:38, 3 shooters exit a vehicle and walked in the direction of the hotel. They murdered Jones with a handgun and 2 rifles.
3 others were hurt. Jones and others in the car attempt to flee from the gunfire as the shots continue. Police say the gunmen were Gaithright and the 2 Murphy men. The 3 arrested are affiliated with 2 rival groups of Jones. Police say they worked together to carry out the murder. Jacksonville Sheriff T.K. Waters has a message for those that choose to glorify violence.
Florida, Tampa, JSO, Jacksonville, Miami, wherever you are, will not tolerate foolishness, will not tolerate shootings and needless violence. We not make excuses for poor decisions.
Chief Burklaw says the investigation is not over as police and the U.S. Marshals.
This nigga Rashad Murphy just turned 30 years old. Because I just turned 30 years old. He's literally 2 months apart from my age. You decided to do this and you just turned 30. That means your life's been shit. And you don't die like shit too. Just that shit's foul. I don't condone no type of violence like this unless you defending yourself and like somebody's trying to take from you for what's rightfully yours. Hell no. This is crazy. This is crazy shit. His brother, 3 years younger too. Yeah, y'all deserve to be in jail, brother. I'm not gonna lie. I don't. People, I don't wish the worst on my enemy. If this is your enemy, you don't wish jail on them. You the sucker. Unless you to get back, but the get back shit don't help nothing. Let the police put them niggas in jail and let the state charge them with the maximum. They don't be like, oh, I shouldn't have, I regret this. I shouldn't have did this. Shut up.
Marshals are still looking for the two Murphy men. State Attorney Susie Lopez works in Hillsborough County, and her office will prosecute this case. Lopez acknowledged that this violence, it is disruptive and has gone on between at least two groups for years. But she said the fight stops here. Coming up at 6, we will hear more from the state attorney for the 13th Judicial Circuit and why this investigation, they say, is not over.
Now to an update. Another arrest in the death of a rap artist known as Julio Foolio. Police in Jacksonville arresting 30-year-old Rashad Murphy after an overnight standoff at an apartment complex. They say Murphy surrendered just after midnight. Tampa police had been searching for him and 27-year-old Davion Murphy. Right now, Davion is still at large on the run. On Monday, police announcing 3 arrests in the case. And on June 23rd, Julio came to Tampa for his birthday. He shared his location on social media to more than 1 million followers. Video released on Monday shows masked men with guns closing in on his car. All 4 men who have been arrested will be brought to Tampa for their court appearance. After years.
Time now 6:32. New details this morning in the murder of Jacksonville rapper Julio Foolio. One of the 4 people arrested in connection with Foolio's death will have a hearing today. The state asking.
Let me tell you one thing. He's gonna crack and try to plead that he's stupid. He is stupid. And the girl's already flipping.
A Hillsborough County judge to deny bond for Isaiah Chance, saying he poses a threat to the community. He has pleaded not guilty. Police also arrested Sean Gaithright, Chance's girlfriend Alicia Andrews, and Rashad Murphy in connection to that murder. This morning, new evidence shows Gaithright is linked to a previous attempt to kill the rapper, whose real name is Charles Jones. Last year, investigators say they found a pistol, rifle, and a spent rifle casing after arresting Gaithright at a traffic stop. Those casings matched 2 different shootings before Jones's death, a separate homicide in May and a shooting last October in what investigators said was an attempt to kill Jones. Investigators said that shooting was the result of a deadly ongoing gang feud in Jacksonville. Police are still looking for Murphy's cousin, Davion Murphy.
Speaking of crime-ridden people, let's take a little trip down to this.
Denver police are on high alert after a violent Venezuelan street gang encouraged its members to attack the city's officers. A Homeland Security memo warns Denver authorities to look out for members of the gang, known as Tren de Aragua, who reportedly gave the green light to open fire on the city's law enforcement. The feds say they were tipped off to the threat from the Albuquerque, New Mexico police. The group is allegedly linked to hundreds of crimes, including the shootings of 2 NYPD officers who were attempting to arrest one of its members in June. Reports also tied the gang to the brother of the suspect in the murder of Georgia student Laken Riley. Both men are undocumented immigrants from Venezuela. U.S. officials say members of TDA have been sneaking over the southern border, disguised as asylum seekers. According to the government, the gang is linked to human smuggling and sex trafficking in the U.S., as well as involved in murder, kidnapping, gun smuggling, and a number of prison riots in Venezuela. Authorities warn TDA has infiltrated cities like Denver, Chicago, Miami, and New York. U.S. Border Patrol has been tracking the criminal organization and since last year has captured 70 members. Border Patrol Chief Jason Owens warned earlier this year the gang's criminal activities represent a serious threat to our communities. The Denver Police Department said it's taking the warning seriously and making officers aware of the safety concerns. For more updates on this story, download the Straight Arrow News app or visit our website at san.com.
I ain't gonna lie, this is the funniest motherfucking shit I've ever seen. Camel toe? They want to, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. I don't think Trump's going to be harsh on anything either. Republicans or Democrats, the people at the top don't care about the small folk. Game of Thrones reference. But, hey, it is what it is. Rest in peace to Julio Foolios. Even if you've done terrible shit yourself, to die like that is just foul. And people to do that is foul. I don't care. Again, rest in peace to my homie's mom. That shit's like heartbreaking still. I mean, it'll be forever heartbreaking, but goddamn, that shit's fucking me up right now. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for even watching. Thank you for paying attention, tuning in, all the good shit. It's crazy. It is crazy. Let's see. Joe Budden looks for love on that Spaces. Anyways. Also, shout out to the men that got found guilty for killing PNB Rock. Y'all deserve hell too. Alright, let's see. Let's look at Kamala Harris and her new VP. And let's see what people think about it.
Kamala Harris named Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her running mate. Walz is a former school teacher and seasoned Washington lawmaker who has been credited with a new political insult against Republicans.
Yes, they're weird. They prove that every day. It's an observation.
Walz is viewed as more of a moderate figure, but someone who has picked up a number of progressive causes as governor. He's not somebody who has an extensive fundraising base or is someone who's very well known among the public.
Walz's ascension comes as Harris has consolidated support among Democrats after President Biden exited the race. Here's a look at what Walz brings as running mate in an election showdown with Donald Trump and J.D. Vance.
Tim Walz is a proven winner among rural voters, and he's been very successful in Minnesota, which is a state that Republicans are trying to put onto the battleground map.
Thank you, Minnesota.
Walz really gives this everyman persona. He's somebody who's very comfortable with farmers. He's also someone who can appeal to voters in the suburbs and the cities.
Hey, Minnesota, Governor Walz here at the Great Minnesota Get-Together.
The 60-year-old governor didn't begin his career in politics.
He's someone who worked as a school teacher for more than 2 decades. He also spent time in the military. So he really brings to the table a background of someone who had an entirely different life before he entered politics.
Walz was first elected to Congress in 2006, managing to unseat a 6-term Republican in one of the state's more conservative districts.
He was supportive of a number of issues related to agriculture. He also served as a leader on Veterans Affairs issues, given his extensive background.
I would bet somebody $100. Comment down below if you want to get in on this bet. He has a few skeletons in his closet, too.
Background in the Army Reserves. Walz was once given an A rating from the National Rifle Association. After the Parkland shooting in 2018, he quickly pivoted to support background checks, and the NRA disavowed many of his proposals.
After 12 years in Congress, Walz ran for Minnesota governor in 2018 as someone who could compromise with Republicans. He won by more than 11 percentage points.
Hello, one Minnesota.
Walz was reelected in 2022 and a year later oversaw a Democratic-controlled state legislature with a progressive agenda.
He helped get through a program to provide universal school meals for children. He was supportive of codifying abortion rights. He was supportive of the legalization of recreational marijuana. He was viewed as somebody who was very progressive on climate change, the environment, and also in promoting infrastructure spending.
Walz was criticized for his handling of the civic unrest following the murder of George Floyd by a police officer in Minneapolis in 2020.
I'm authorizing and talking to General Jensen to fully mobilize the Minnesota National Guard, an action that has never been taken in the 164-year history of the Minnesota National Guard.
Walz deployed the National Guard 3 days after Floyd's murder. In July, the governor signed a police reform bill banning the use of chokeholds in most cases and requiring other officers to intervene when another is using excessive force.
In the aftermath of George Floyd's murder, he faced some criticism that he did not act quickly enough to quell some of the violence that we saw on the streets of the city. There was criticism that he didn't quickly bring in the National Guard to restore order.
In recent weeks, Walz has repeatedly used one word to describe Trump and his running mate, J.D. Vance.
Yeah, they're weird, and I am not changing that. I see Donald Trump talking about the wonderful Hannibal Lecter or whatever weird thing he's on tonight. That is weird behavior.
And it seems to have caught on.
By the way, don't you find some of their...
The Democrats, they're funny. Look at him standing behind Kamala Harris like a proud white man. Caucasian. White is a color. Caucasian is the ethnicity and race. Or race, ethnicity, and blur lines. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. Both VP picks are a little out there. A little weird. My bad, I'm a little hungry. And I love hot fries. Fuck you. I went to the gym today. Anyways, I don't know, man. I don't think no one's gonna be tough on immigration and border. That's like the main issue for any American right now. And then obviously like racism, redlining, discrimination. Blah. Immigration actually might be at the forefront because these motherfuckers is killing people, raping people, and not benefiting society at all. They're really just like trying to destroy America. Like at least 90% of them, the Venezuelans. I'm gonna be 100% honest. They're trying to destroy America and make it just like Venezuela. And America's too soft on them. Like they cops will kill black people, but if we took over that parking lot like they did, they would have mowed us down. The fact that the cops didn't do nothing to them shows you what's going on. Something's weird.
Stuff to just be plain weird.
In the lead up to his selection as Harris's running mate, he really showed a penchant for being the attack dog, namely his appearances on some of the Sunday shows, some of the cable TV hits that he did attacking J.D. Vance.
People like J.D. Vance know nothing about small town America.
Although no Republican presidential candidate has won over Minnesota voters since Richard Nixon, the Trump campaign wants to compete there.
Minnesota is a state that Democrats really can't lose. Trump got very close in 2016 and has since then always tried to put the state into play. He and Vance have made appearances recently in the state, and they view it as a place where they could perhaps cut into the Democratic battleground map.
The Harris-Walz ticket and its platform will take center stage in Chicago during the week of August 19th, when the Democratic National Convention convenes to cement their nominations.
Walz helps neutralize J.D. Vance's appeal to rural voters, especially those voters in the Midwest, some of the states that will help determine the election. We expect Walz to give an address at the Democratic National Convention. That'll really be his first opportunity to give the American people a window into his life, his career, his background, and that will be an important showcase for him before Democrats.
J.D. Vance has had a meteoric rise in the Republican Party.
On to J.D. Vance.
From a best-selling author and never Trumper in 2016,
I'm a never Trump guy. I never liked him.
to winning a U.S. Senate seat at age 38. And now, he's former President Donald Trump's running mate.
Elect Donald Trump in 2024. God bless you, sir.
Vance is very much a creature of the new Republican Party that Trump has shaped in his image. By picking Vance, Trump is showing he's doubling down on this MAGA agenda. It's a full-throated, populist, national conservative ticket.
Here's why the Trump-Vance ticket is a big deal for the future of the MAGA movement and the GOP. J.D. Vance first catapulted to fame in 2016 after he published his memoir, Hillbilly Elegy. The book detailed his experience growing up poor in Rust Belt, Ohio, and making it to Yale Law School. It was a smash hit and became a Ron Howard-directed movie in 2020.
I know I could have done better, but you got to decide. You want to be somebody or not?
We're trying to paint this white nationalist movement as a movement primarily of poor and working class Americans, when the truth is that the alt-right is actually led by better educated and frankly pretty well-to-do people.
In his initial foray into the public spotlight, Vance was very much anti-Trump. His book made clear that he was a conservative. Many people latched onto it as an explanation for Trump's sort of surprise success in the Republican Party and then in the election.
When Vance launched his campaign for the Senate in 2021, his stance on Trump underwent a big shift.
I obviously didn't
get your electrolytes in. Sorry about that. Well, I have to. JD Vance is an interesting fella because he had to kiss the ring. All right. I'm sorry, I just.
I talking tough behind that security, huh? Yeah, go ahead and put everything down.
You might need security, bro.
Slap him on the ass. I'm about to fire your shit up. Bro, watch out, bro. Don't raise your hand to me. Don't raise your hand to me. Don't raise your hand to me. Huss, huss.
Oh, your whole face with it.
What? No. What? No.
Break your whole jaw.
Oh. What? No.
Hey, bitch ass nigga. I'll break your jaw here, Rich. You look your company out here, white boy.
I talking tough behind that security, huh?
Damn, he must have something going for him.
Democrats are trying to gaslight us. The media is eager to help them out. The Harris Walls ticket is the most lefty ever. They're trying to cover it in a gauze of blather, of Midwestern folkiness, and whatever the heck Harris offers. But it's garbage. Harris has been a progressive lefty her whole career. She was to the left of Joe Biden, and she hasn't reversed any of his policies, not the big spending, not the borrowing, not everything that gave us nasty inflation, and jobs are drying up now. They've got.
Is she supposed to do something right now when she's not the president? As a vice president, she's supposed to, what's that word? Insubordinate? Be insubordinate? What the fuck is this talking about? Like, come on. Also, circling back to the Venezuelan thing, I think at least 70-80% of them are here to destroy America. I'm going to be honest with you. Anyways, I just had somebody text me. Where was I going with this? YSL trial. YSL trial. I hope not to make you mine by the very next kind of mine. Damn, they be in that trial for 8 hours. I'm like, bro, give me a mistrial. Let me go home on house arrest. I'll make 1 billion songs. So I can pay this white. This Brian Steele. That is been getting paper. His kids is paid. Let's see.
Have you read the transcript to the ex parte meeting?
Yes.
I'm not sure if
Yeah. Okay. All right, good morning, Mr.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that Ford is being proffered for
to support the position that.
I mean, Hunter Widgeon, everybody in Atlanta got ass. Look at that ass sitting out there, poking out the skirt. Ass is poking out the skirt. And it's not even the skirt that you should be like having the ass poking out. So she got ass. And she got short hair? Yeah, she got ass. We'll just start taking a look at some of it and try to put our own little agendas together.
Alleged violations of the rules of professional responsibility are sufficient to support disqualification. For a couple of reasons, Your Honor, I just ask that the court allow us definiteness on what grounds the court will continue to hear motions to disqualify. I know that we started out with the witness, that we were a necessary witness, and then after the June 7th transcript came out, there were other grounds. And today I'm addressing the ones that have been proffered by the defense. But my take on Ford is that it, like Piedmont Hospital, which Ford cites, they're both obviously cases regarding civil matters. And I think, Your Honor, that it's interesting that both of them also involve conflicts of interest. There are cases within the state of Georgia that do involve disqualifying prosecutors in criminal cases. And of course, there are, two general grounds. We've addressed that in a previous response. But as it relates to this, our position is that all that Ford does is addresses whether two attorneys who appeared pro hac vice violated the professional rules. And it specifically authorizes the trial court to consider those rules when considering whether to revoke the pro hac vice admission. That is, the question was whether the attorney who is not a member of the Georgia bar would be allowed to practice in Georgia. And of course, that's not the issue here. Ford cited Piedmont Hospital versus Reddick, which had held that it was appropriate to consider the professional rules on a question of disqualification. And one of the claims at issue in that case was whether an attorney for one party violated the professional rules when it contacted another party's board members and employees. And if true, that was something that the trial court could consider in a motion to disqualify. The Court of Appeals emphasized that the right to counsel is an important interest, which requires that any curtailment of the client's right to counsel of choice be approached with great caution. Disqualification not only curtails a client's right to counsel of choice, but results in expense and delay that are costly both to the client and to the administration of justice. And they go on to say that courts have been reluctant to disqualify an attorney despite misgivings about an attorney's conduct, perhaps because disqualification has an immediate adverse effect on the client by separating her from counsel of her choice. And that's Piedmont at 76 through 77. Finally, the court held that a party did not have standing to base a motion to disqualify an attorney, to file a motion to disqualify an attorney.
We have to decide how we're going to instruct the jury about what to consider and what not to consider as to Mr. Copeland's testimony. Now, this assumes, This assumes that Mr. Copeland decides to testify. Obviously, if he decides at this point, you know, on Monday not to take the stand at all, then it's a pretty easy instruction because it's disregard everything you heard from this witness. But if that's not the case, then does anybody have a proposal for how we are going to, and I think that's what the state had sent something on. And has the defense had a chance to look? And is there, I think Mr. Williams maybe has just sent over his proposed instruction, which hopefully everybody has gotten. All right. All right. So Mr. Williams' motion, his language, that looks pretty good to me. Obviously, we don't need to include the case law sites, but I mean, that looks like a good thing to sort of work from. Now, one thing I guess.
Shout out to the 4 people that tuned in. They're tuning in. Shout out to y'all. Y'all are great people. Thank you.
Yes, I was asking, but not very clearly yesterday, was it seemed like there was kind of a fairly clean break between the topics that were covered before the recusal motion and the topic that was covered after the recusal motion. And that being, I think, like on the one day, the question opened with, all right, now let's turn to the murder of Nutt or the murder of Donovan Thomas or whatever. And that was after the recusal motion had been filed. So was there any discussion of the murder of Donovan Thomas with Mr. Copeland prior to the recusal motion? Because it would be pretty easy to also say, not just with regard to dates and times, but anything about the Thomas murder, disregard, if that only came up after the recusal motion was filed.
Your Honor, with respect to any reference, I haven't had a chance to listen to all of it and read all of the testimony that and all of the questions that Ms. Hilton asked of Mr. Copeland. But I can say that I at this time I would ask that the court not instruct the jury as to disregard any specific subject because.
Well, I'm wondering. So, I mean, y'all have had the point of getting y'all all the testimony was, well, one of the points was so that you could look at it.
Yeah. I'm not saying I haven't looked at it. I'm looking for reading.
Yeah. So, I mean, if there is kind of a break in terms of subject matter as well, that'd be an easy thing to instruct on. But does anybody know the answer to that?
So
you do? Okay. What's the answer?
I misspoke yesterday, but there were video portions of Mr. Copeland's statements on early morning hours of January 11th, 2015, as well as January, I think it's 21, 2015, played for the jurors.
Uh-huh.
They were small. They were like, quote unquote, real impeachment.
Right.
After that, though, after the motion to recuse was filed, is the wholesale playing of various recordings. So I don't think that it would be appropriate to say disregard everything. I have all my notes.
Okay.
And I have the transcript.
Okay.
But he did discuss things that you're talking about. He did discuss his relationship with Mr. Williams, his relationship with Donovan Thomas, with Mr. Kelvin Watts.
Right.
So he was getting there.
Okay, but if it's all that sort of background relationship stuff, that's not the murder of Donovan Thomas. That's all the background. So what I'm trying to sort out is, had there been any testimony about the actual, here's the night of the murder stuff before the recusal motion?
So, Judge, it's when you say about it, in as much as it's relevant to the issue of the murder, is
They sound so shaky when they talking. They don't really have no solid thing to stand on. This free Young Thug so he can make some slaps.
itself. That's the reason why I was asking the relationship between parties and all of those kind of issues.
That's not what I mean. And we can be clear about that. I mean, the night of the murder, the what happened, how the murder went down.
I think it's safe to say that as far as Mr. Copeland is concerned, the specifics of the night of the murder information or evidence was given post-recusal motion.
All right. Is there anybody that disagrees with that? All right. Thank you.
Would the court consider the state's position that in characterizing any evidence in any way, it could imply to the jury that certain other evidence does not fall into that category? So in other words, any evidence of the night of the murder, I'm not certain how the court will be instructed.
I'm not either. That's what we're supposed to be tailoring today. That's what I wanted y'all to be giving lots of thought to. But yeah, no, I want to tailor it in such a way that I don't mislead the jury about anything. But y'all all agree that we have to tell them to disregard some of it. And I mean, yeah, maybe the cleanest thing to do is, XYZ date, but people don't normally think about their lives in, June 3rd. Okay. I know exactly what June 3rd had to do with, unless it happens to be their birthday or something like that. But so, yeah, I'll consider all of what you want to offer me, but okay.
Personally, I'm not speaking for. I went by my notes as well as a transcript, but my notes have more things. I guess I don't. They were my notes, but I don't have anything specifically talking about the Donovan Thomas murder before Mr. Weinstein filed the motion to recuse. I do have like a January 11, 2015 interview by Detective Thorpe of Mr. Copeland.
Yeah.
Is admitted over objection, and it was played from 3:29:46 to 3:30:13. And I have to go back and remember what that was about, but I have little things like that, but I don't have any specific.
That's very helpful. And I knew there were a couple of small snippets of videos played. So if you've actually got the timestamp as to what parts were played, then it's easy enough to have somebody look at those snippets and see what it covered.
Can I announce now or?
Yeah.
So everyone can check. I have States Exhibit 378Y, as in Yankee, B as in Barry, 6, and these are the time slots, 6:46:34 to 6:46:44, and that's the January 28th, 2015 interview.
Okay.
And then I have the January 11, 2015 interview marked at States Exhibit 358A as in Elisa, and it's at the time I just said, which is 3:29:46 to 3:30:13. That's what I have. And then I have nothing else about specifically his interviews after the killing.
Okay, 3:29:46 to
3:30:13.
Okay, thank you.
And that's at 358A is in the
All right, and I think that's our review had only revealed those two, anything from those two videos also. All right, anybody else have a different recollection about either more videos or the specific topic of the night of the murder having come up prior?
As Lil Woody don't snitch. That's really what I'm here for, because he's been doing interviews.
An attorney at all?
I don't know.
You don't know whether you have an attorney? I would think that would be a no then if you don't know whether.
I was talking to Melanie, but
Melnick?
yes.
Isn't it they talk to, I don't know. And then they talk to a judge like this one of the homies. God damn. I don't know if he on the spectrum.
Okay, didn't he ask to be relieved as your attorney, and did you sign something saying that's okay, you can get out of this?
I don't.
You don't remember? Okay. Does anybody know whether that actually occurred?
I don't believe it occurred.
Okay.
I believe.
Also, I'm very appreciative as a newly founded content creator. Thank you for the 5 people that are watching, tuning in, tuning out, tuning in, tuning out. Y'all are awesome people. Shout out to y'all. Oh my mama, I love y'all.
I believe that Miss Bumpus.
I know she was stand-in.
She was stand-in, and I believe something was said on the record to the effect that Miss Bumpus was relieved. But
yeah, I know she was.
There was nothing about Mr. Melnick to my knowledge.
Okay, maybe
There was. Miss Bumpus actually said yesterday, I believe, during her testimony that Mr. Melnick had directed her to tell Mr. Copeland that he could either exercise his,
choose not to testify.
Right. Or if he chose to testify, according to Miss Bumpus.
Yeah, I remember she said.
Look at this, they did.
There's this paper I'm supposed to get him to sign. I'm trying to figure out whether it got signed.
So I never got Mr. Melnick off my case.
Okay, so he's still your attorney then?
I guess.
Okay, all right. Well, then that's the answer we've got for that. All right, so I'm going to try to get a hold of Mr. Melnick and see if he can be here with us this afternoon, because some of what I suspect you recall when you were brought into Judge Glanville's chambers with Ms. Bumpus and a couple of the people from the state, and there was a discussion that Ms. Bumpus and Ms. Hilton and Judge Glanville had with you. You asked some questions. They gave you some information. Some of that information was not actually factually correct. And I want to make sure that you have the opportunity understanding what it is that the immunity order means, understanding what the potential consequences are if you do testify or if you don't. We're basically going to kind of start over and
So
do
if I
that
don't
over.
testify,
Huh?
So if I don't testify, how long you gonna hold me in jail?
So, I mean, that's still an issue that you can be held in jail through the end of this trial. But I'd rather have Mr. Melnick here to advise you about the potential drawbacks and benefits of what, if there are any,
This
of any
trial
of
right
your.
To the end of this trial?
Yes.
Not the other people.
Not as far as I believe, but the state, what, did you want to do some further research on that?
Yes, just to advise the court of.
Okay, so I just wanted to know, first off, do you have an attorney? Because if you do have an attorney, then your attorney may have some information, advice, and research for me about that. So I want to make sure that I tell you the correct thing about that, okay? So we're going to take a lunch break in a little while, and why don't we plan to have you back here? on standby at least. I don't know who was in communication, but we need to reach out to Mr. Melnick, see what his availability is. So just be on standby in case I need you here like at 2 or 3 this afternoon.
2 or 3?
Yeah, because we're about to take a lunch break before too much longer. So you're okay to leave for the next couple of hours, but stay where whomever reached out from the state can reach you to let you know whether you need to be back here this afternoon or potentially tomorrow instead, okay?
All right.
All right, thank you. So, I don't know who. Okay, my litigation manager is going to reach out to Mr. Melnick, see if he can get a hold of, see if she can get a hold of Mr. Melnick and find out what his availability is. And depending upon his availability, we'll just see when it is that we have Mr. Copeland back. Because I want him to have the benefit of counsel. And then I also want y'all over the lunch break to work on whatever you think ought to be the correct advice to him. And if you, the state, believe that it is possible to hold him past the trial for which he is under subpoena, then you show me what authority
Yes, Your Honor.
lets you believe that. Okay? All right, yeah.
One thing, I think that the transcript reflects this from June 10th, and as well as Ms. Bumpus's testimony yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
She was emphatic that Mr. Melnick said, if you testify, I'm not representing you. So, and with the fact that Mr. Copeland said...
No, what he said was, if you plead the 5th, I'm not representing you. So I don't know, what that means. I'm just going to reach out to Mr. Melnick and...
Why would he do that? Because you plead the 5th, I'm not going to represent you. Interesting. Shout out to the lead attorney. I'll be watching his videos too. He funny as hell, actually. What I don't see is he getting my goddamn lights up. Funny as hell. Shout out to the 6 people watching me too.
At least Mr. Copeland thinks Mr. Melnick is still representing him. And if Mr. Copeland never signed whatever that was relieving him, I don't know exactly what their arrangement is, but let's find out from Mr. Melnick.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Okay, so let's get a few more minutes in of this before we break, because it's not even noon yet, and we were making some progress, which is good. All right, so we were on number 12.
Number 12. Number 12 being page 47, lines, if I'm reading correctly, line 14 through page 50, line 8?
Yes.
Okay. So, Your Honor,
I did forget to mention that the way Lil Woody got up and left was insanely funny. He's like, like he like, see it does. He's like, my bad, bro. Like, nigga.
objection to this portion of it, just to give you a little bit of background. So this fight happened around January the 6th, and it did begin with Mr. Copeland, according to the reports from our investigators, but it involved more than one member of YSL, more than one alleged member of YSL. Mr. Bloody J, who is a member of If Gang, was on the other side of the fight from YSL, and other people who are in the courtroom now participated in that with them. So Mr. Zachary's rendition of what happened, we would argue it's Mr. Zachary's knowledge of and participation in this gang is what allows him to be able to tell this to Detective Dennis. Mr. Shart's assertion, it does not appear that he was there, I don't think is a ground to exclude it. Assuming that the court is satisfied with the foundation that the state lays for Mr. Zachary's
being
ability
a co-conspirator.
Yes, we would argue that it's admissible. It's
So do you know whether he was there or not?
So
Yeah, just give this shit a mistrial and circle back if y'all fucking can do something. This is crazy. They sound stupid. Sorry. No. Miss Bumpus got a bumpus. Anyways. Like I said, love people that love you. Because I know if you did this, he didn't sign to him. Yeah, I was diss you too. That's crazy. Yeah. Kamala Harris. Oh, actually, comment down below if you like Kamala Harris VP pick. Let me know what you disliked, what you liked, if you hate him, if you love him. Comment down below if you like JD Vance. Same thing. Do you hate him? Do you love him? What you like? What you think about Young Thug's trial? Everything. Thank you for tuning in. 24 hours was shot. That looks creepy as hell, but hey. They do whatever just to, that's just weird. Anyways. Yeah. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you for helping me grow. Like, comment, subscribe. Please get me to over 4,000 watch hours, please. That would be great. 4,000 watch hours is the new goal. 500 subscribers was the goal. I've reached that pretty much. Give me the 4,000 watch hours, please. Put me on a streaming forum. I don't care. Thank you for helping me grow. Thank you for being a part of the channel. Like, comment, subscribe. I interact. Love interacting with the people that subscribe to me. We're going to build a community. That's my goal. Thank you for doing everything y'all do. As they go. I'm out this bitch. If I can find the controls. Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you.